A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a surprising turn of events, a federal grand jury in Washington, D.C. has chosen not to indict two individuals accused of making threats against former President Donald Trump. This decision marks a rare instance where a grand jury has declined to return an indictment, raising eyebrows and stirring conversations about the current political climate and the law enforcement response in the nation's capital. This unprecedented decision comes amidst a backdrop of heightened tensions following President Trump's controversial order to increase the presence of federal agents and troops in Washington, D.C. The grand jury's refusal to indict is seen by many as a reflection of a growing backlash against the administration's heavy-handed law enforcement tactics. Legal experts, including former U.S. Attorney Brendan Ballou, have expressed astonishment at this development, stating that it is extraordinarily rare for a grand jury to refuse to indict in such cases. "I've never heard of this happening," Ballou remarked, highlighting the unusual nature of the situation. The first case that led to a grand jury's refusal to indict involved Natalie Rose Jones, a 49-year-old woman from New York, who allegedly made threats against Trump on social media and directly to Secret Service agents. Jones described Trump as a terrorist and expressed her willingness to avenge the lives lost during the pandemic. However, she later clarified that she did not intend to harm Trump. Friends of Jones have come forward, citing her history of mental health issues as a factor in her behavior. Despite the serious nature of the allegations, the grand jury found no probable cause to proceed with the indictment, leading to calls for her release from home detention. This case is not an isolated incident. It follows a pattern where the D.C. grand jury has recently declined to indict individuals involved in other confrontational incidents with law enforcement. In another notable case, a man who threw a sandwich at a Customs and Border Patrol agent was also spared from indictment. The refusal to indict has sparked discussions about the effectiveness of the current law enforcement strategies employed by the Trump administration, particularly in light of the declared crime emergency in D.C. The administration's approach has included deploying federal law enforcement and the National Guard to deter potential harassment of officers. Attorney General Pam Bondi had previously warned that any physical contact with law enforcement would lead to severe repercussions. However, this strategy has seemingly backfired, as the grand jury's recent decisions suggest a disconnect between the administration's intentions and the sentiments of the local populace. White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson emphasized the seriousness of threats against the president, especially in light of the two assassination attempts Trump has survived. The ongoing uncertainty surrounding the legal ramifications for Jones and others like her raises pressing questions about the balance between security, public safety, and civil liberties in a politically charged environment. As the nation watches closely, the implications of these grand jury decisions could resonate far beyond the courtroom, influencing public opinion and political discourse in the months to come. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.